Let me in, I'm trying to fuck.
Let me in, I'm trying to fuck. Let me in, I'm trying to fuck now. I said, let me in.
That one was weird.
I always love that.
Hey guys, welcome back. And this is a beautiful, beautiful episode, I guess. It's weird because I'm shy to say welcome back to another 6 Feet Under show, brought to you by these two beautiful people right here in the middle. Our sponsors, Old SheepDOg, located 3900 Rosa Avenue, El Paso, Texas, 79905.
You could really hear those sirens.
Yeah.
Do I have to start everything again?
No, you're good.
Alright.
Just someone got stabbed outside, so I mean, there's a little bit of
It's gonna be a logo in
going on.
Yeah, where you can get your delicious beer made by this awesome man right here.
Yeah.
And our other sponsor, like always, Vitolas, located 216 West Franklin, El Paso, Texas, 79901, where you can get your beautiful cigars, over 360 cigars, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 350, 360.
So,
Yeah, I try not to check since COVID, you know.
but
rolling with the punches.
like we said, we're here at Vitolas recording with our sponsors, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's a little different.
Yeah,
forward
and
to
Something else.
as always, guys, please remember to check us out at 6feetunderstudios.com, where you can find links to all of our streaming platforms. You can find links to our YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and our Instagram. You can check us out on there and see everything that we got going on. In addition to the podcast, we always put up a local spotlight to highlight the local businesses and people that we talk to, as well as any other projects that myself or Alex or anybody else that wants to put it out there. We put it on there as well to try to promote each other. Remember, we're all about supporting local, especially right now during these hard times. That's what we're about. So, which is why, again, we're here today, joined by our sponsors, our good friends Gus and Fernando here. Thank you guys for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having us. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, thanks for the invite. Thanks, Fernando, for allowing us to be here.
I'm just going to assume the beer is going to be good, so thanks in advance for that too.
Like I said
beer.
before, I had told Gus, like, I never had a bad beer from him.
All right.
So, yeah.
And I've got Alex to thank
Yeah,
for
so
that too. He's been making it a point to keep me excited on what you guys are doing. He brings
Nice.
by whatever's new, whatever he likes, and it's been cool. I like what you're doing. Keep it up.
Thank you,
Yeah,
sir. Thank
that, the habanero beer is still my favorite.
you. Yeah, I might brought a surprise for that.
Oh,
yeah.
shit. Yeah, but how's everything going with you guys? Like, dealing again with another kind of lockdown short. Like,
Well, I think honestly, the first reaction is, what the fuck? I mean, I've had to get in the habit of waiting, right? When something comes out, when it's announced that a new set of orders is coming in, I try not to even look at the news about it for a day, at least a day. Because if you look at it the afternoon, or I think, what was it, Thursday? Maybe Wednesday?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Thursday morning.
Afternoon that they were having a meeting, and if you read, you know, KTSM,
Whatever.
NBC,
All the news.
if you read everybody's article, it's a really great way to not know what the fuck you're supposed to do afterwards, right? And it seems like it takes everybody a little while to kind of get on the same page. So, I mean, overall, it's frustrating, right? I mean, we're, 8-9 months into this? It's disappointing also. I mean, it's not like, I think it's easy for a lot of people to blame government, right?
yeah.
Right.
But obviously, you know, they're reacting to the numbers, and the numbers, are a result of people not giving a shit, and we're not giving enough of a shit. And so it's not all that surprising, but it is hard to decide who to be pissed off at.
Right.
Yeah, and it's also hard to know exactly what I'm supposed to do. I'm not sure what Gus, your issues would be at your business, but I kind of fall in between a couple of different categories, and so I usually try to pick the strictest set of orders that might apply to me, and just to play it safe, I go with those. But yeah, because it's not real clear. I guess there's not a whole lot of cigar lounges in town.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and the ones that are there, the other ones are like super small. Their selection is just like, you don't,
Right.
like, it's You have one brand, and then what else can I get? Cigarettes, clovers.
Yeah. So I mean, it's crazy. I was talking to my brother yesterday, and I told him, Jaime, remember in March and April when we were certain, all right, when the heat hit, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna go away. In the summer, this will be over by the summer, and everything's gonna be okay.
Right.
Shit, man. I think now I'm being optimistic if I say by the spring. I mean, and I don't like to say that, and I don't believe in jinxing things or anything, but it could happen. I don't know. I think we'll all be okay though. I hope you feel that way about your business too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I start every morning with instead of like I just say fuck COVID, right? So that's my daily fuck COVID. Yeah, right. But I mean, we as far as this new shutdown, it didn't really did anything different with us because we've been shut down since March. Yeah. So it's just beer to go still. So I'm just kind of getting used to it's dumb to say or even hard to say that I'm just getting used to bad news after bad news after bad news. And I mean, 2 months in with us opening, we had to close. We opened for 3 weeks and then we had to close again. Right. So I just got a little teaser there. And then
I feel you on that one. All of that, but
you're just dipping your toes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit.
Yeah, exactly. And then now state opens on the 14th, but not El Paso. So that was another hit. Mm-hmm. So and then on Thursday, the mayor says all this stuff that closes down. And at that point, I was like, fuck it. It's the same thing. Anyways, like with me, it doesn't hurt. So
yeah, and it's crazy that you opened this year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Great year to open.
In a way, right? And I don't want to speak for you or anything. I hope you'll agree, but in a way, once this shit's done, there's nowhere to go but up, right?
Right. Exactly.
For you.
Yeah.
Like, you already have to deal with the biggest shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else is next, right?
COVID-20.
It's obviously not a pissing contest or competition, but for us, it was different because we had just completed our third year. Mm-hmm. And every year and every quarter, up and up and up and up, and things getting better and the inventory growing, more beer, more liquor, more cigars.
Nice.
And fuck.
Yeah.
Revoking your own license, like, ah, shit.
Yeah, I mean, and it honestly, it feels a lot like it did the first couple of months when I was basically the only one working it. And, so it feels like going back to square one in a lot of ways. But I don't know, I still, I guess, like you, I wake up in the morning and I curse it.
Yeah.
Right, and then I go on a roller coaster all day, right? And I try to end on as shitty as it is. Somehow we're gonna make it. We'll be okay. And I wish I could say that for everybody, but obviously some people have already, not made it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Sucks, yeah.
So the other model is like the company model. What is it? Culo que se raja.
Culo que se- yeah.
So it's not. We're not being culos, so we're just gonna continue. Hey, that's company motto, man. That's old SheepDOg motto.
The bad thing is that it's on your containers too.
It's outside. Yeah, you gotta see it. It's outside.
I just remember, it's like, holy fuck, that's right.
Yeah, it says there outside.
It says it.
Like, you buy your beer, you walked out, it's like, I'm gonna grab another one.
Yeah, don't be cool.
Yeah, right. You have the white people coming in. Culo, guess what the fuck is this thing?
Yeah.
Because that's why I love how you name your beers, and everybody's like, what does it's like?
Oh yeah, well,
La
the
pinche
day that
güera.
we were there, that guy came in. What's up, pinche güera?
And then a blonde girl's getting it.
It's you, girl. It's you right there.
You should put a mirror so when someone runs in, just go look there. There you go.
Or
I know you use a different meaning of the word culo, right? But it's funny because we used to have a set of rules written on a chalkboard in the humidor, and rule number 1 was don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Don't be a
It's that
culo.
easy, right? Yeah.
Don't be a culo.
Yeah.
Especially that people that just smell it.
Yeah.
Grab the cigar and put it on their nose.
Oh my god! They put it back.
He was telling us yesterday, right? It happened
putting it
too,
back?
no?
Oh, so Yeah, some people don't understand. Well, I think the way I need to start doing it is I need to ask people, hey, if I take that cigar and shove it up my nose, will you put it in your mouth afterwards?
Yeah.
And if the answer is no, then don't do that to me.
I blame TV.
I blame you.
Yeah.
Right.
And I had one guy that was not abiding by rule number 1, right? He was being a culo. And, and he said, well, how do you expect me to smell him? And I said, have you ever stepped on dog shit? Yeah? Did you have to rub it on your face to know you stepped on dog shit? No, you didn't. You could smell that. I mean,
Also, like, they're in a pack, so it's not like you can still, like, smell it strong enough to be like, oh, yeah.
yeah, the ones that are wrapped in cellophane are tough. I mean, and so we'll do a little humidor 101 here. The best way to get a whiff is to pick up the entire box and get your face close. So that way you have all of the cigars and you're trying to smell them. If you pick up one and try to smell it through the cellophane, even if you have a really good nose, plus, you have a mask on, it's going to be tough. So if you want to get a whiff, let me know. I'll help you. I'll teach you. But the best way is to pick up the whole box.
Or just buy it.
Yeah.
Just don't be a
go for
bitch,
it.
just grab it.
Yeah, just go for it.
That's what I've
Just
been.
pick one and smoke it, damn it. Don't care. I'm like, really, if you don't know any about that to begin with, you're not going to know what you're buying at all. So just ask, hey, what should I get? Grab it, take it, and smoke it. If you like it, you like it. You don't,
Right,
okay, you know not to get it next time.
And in a big way, you're right.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of it, that's half the fun, right? Half the adventure is it's like when you're learning to drink beer. I think we even talked about this last time. Is
Yeah.
you will occasionally run into a shitty beer or a beer that you just don't like, right? Because not liking it doesn't say anything about the quality of the beer,
Right.
the attention that went into making it, right? I mean, there's plenty. If everybody liked the same shit,
Yeah, it's so be.
We wouldn't be-
would be
yeah.
making the same thing,
Yeah,
right?
we would all be making the same thing. And
Yeah, it's not like we're going to great effort to come up with shit people don't like.
yeah, and that's why for me, I avoid the whole beer snob thing, because I just say the same thing. If you
Yeah.
like it, drink it.
If you like
and
it,
that's
you drink it, that's it.
Maybe you like how Bud Light tastes. Just fucking drink it. You know?
Whoa. What happened to don't be a culo?
No.
If you like that, don't go to Old Cheap.
No, don't
Don't buy
drink,
your fucking Bud Light at the gas station.
don't drink Bud Light.
If you like it, just drink water.
Just fucking drink it, man.
The best thing about Bud Light is the distributors, in my opinion. LNF, a badass company. I don't know if you've ever had to work with them, but
I haven't worked with them, but I've met them.
yeah,
a
some
couple
of
of
the
them.
guys.
Yeah, they're cool people.
Are they?
No, I don't mean. I mean Adrian. I met Adrian.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I've talked to a couple of those guys.
Mhm.
They're dope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good guys. Good guys.
Yeah.
I miss them. But going back to what you said about the teas, and for a small business, it's even more impactful. They started the reopening right in late May. They gave me just enough time to spend more money on inventory.
Yeah.
And they fucking shut us down again.
Yeah. 3
So
fucking
I
weeks,
miss
man.
the LNF guys because the last time I saw them is when we were open.
For 3 weeks.
We were able to sell beer. Yeah, they're all good guys. They treat me good. Shout out to Tony Lamantia, Joe Livas, Adrian Perez, of course,
Yeah.
cool guys.
Cool, man.
But with that, like, how do you now? Like, we're gonna have beers right now. Like, how are you gonna pair it? Like, just with the cigar and the beer.
Boom.
That's my
Ooh.
curiosity.
What's going to be my approach right now?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what the fuck we're waiting for.
But
Yeah,
step
what are we
question.
waiting
one
for?
was,
Yeah.
step one was drink it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so okay, it's a good question though. So,
It's like yelling.
what I want to decide when I drink that beer, the first thing is body, like the density of the beer, how heavy it feels on your palate. If it's real thin, and light bodied, now for me that's different from
Yeah.
flavor, because you can have a lot of flavor and still be light on body, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm looking at body first, because if it's a light-bodied beer, I don't want to pair it with a full-bodied cigar, because then it's going to overpower the beer. So I want to at least match those things. Flavor also, fullness of flavor is important too. Other than that, the flavor itself, the flavor profile, that gets super subjective. And then we go into a whole contrast versus complement thing, right? I mean, if the beer, you have to pick a couple of notes that the beer that really stand out to you. Is there like a very marked thing that stands out for you? Is there a warm spice that stands out for you? You've got to pick one or two of those and then decide if you want to smoke a cigar that's in line with that or smoke a cigar that's opposite that, that'll contrast it. I like contrast because it brings out those notes that I picked in the beer. So if I'm getting a lot of sweetness out of the beer, I like to smoke a spicy cigar because then it enhances the sweetness of the beer and also enhances the spiciness of the cigar. They play against each other and they kind of stand out. So those are all some of the things I'll be thinking about.
Wait,
when
there's
we start
spicy
drinking the beer.
cigars?
Yeah,
we had this
there are some
conversation.
cigars that
Damn.
Yeah.
Do you, Hell, when you smoke a cigar, do you blow it out your nose?
No.
That's why you don't pick up the spice. It's culo, man.
Interesting. Interesting.
That's how we found out
Take
Cesar's
it
a
out the
cool.
window. Okay.
Yeah, it takes some practice, right? Because at first it makes you want to feel like you're gonna sneeze. You know, the spice. You gotta blow it out slow, a little bit at a time. But through your nose is the best way to pick up on certain notes, especially spice.
The more we know. I feel like every time I talk
That's
to
why
you
I
guys, I
asked
learn
these
so much
questions
shit.
because I'm like, what?
There's different cigars?
I know. There isn't just one? Damn it. I've been sniffing the wrong one.
You've been sticking it up your nose. That's why.
You've been sticking it up your ass.
Hey. Calmado.
Private life.
not when we're when we record when he's home alone.
Yeah, and this podcast went from MA to fucking X.
Right away. Yeah, we had that problem.
It's not even we, it's
Yes, me.
Alejandro over
I
there.
think, yeah, it goes every single time to that.
I know. Shut up, problems.
Somehow, all of a sudden, we always end up at for some reason.
Hey, it's a season.
I don't know why.
Nobody's sweating that much anymore.
Me, I don't let Thaddeus listen to the podcast.
Oh, that's right. Cesar's got a bleep allowed.
Yeah, we'll bleep some stuff out.
Nah, you won't. You bleep the wrong things.
So what was it? How she get bleeped out?
Yeah. No.
When I'm listening to it, I'll probably just be like, bleep. God damn it.
How come I don't know this one? What?
Yeah, so it's because I found
You can't
out.
say
What's
if
yourself?
you say you have to bleep
Stop
it out.
saying it.
So, okay.
You can say fuck and then face and it's fine, but together for some reason, like quick, it's a thing on broadcasting that you can't say in general.
Oh,
You
okay.
have to bleep it for some reason, which I don't understand.
So if I wake up every morning and say COVID,
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
You
no,
sound
it makes no
Bleep out.
sense.
I gotta bleep
Nobody
that
got the
out.
message
That has to
because
be
it got
bleeped
bleeped
out.
out.
Yeah. All right.
All everybody's gonna hear is COVID. That's all they're gonna hear there.
just block like half of it, half of the word.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's good to learn.
It's not cool. Don't say it.
Because now he's the one editing the sound.
Be
So
right
now
back
feels
with
my
beer.
pain.
Yeah. Beer.
Because you brought different beers, right? Like you brought.
I brought two styles of beer. I brought a classic old SheepDOg beer and
Which is beautiful, the way he brought it.
Why how'd you bring it in a
in a
ribbon?
gallon.
And the Calvin Cross.
Holy crap! That is the biggest thirst.
Here you go. It's a
Damn.
gallon.
Alex is gonna drink it and then learn to play the jug. Do.
It's up
It's up to you. I mean, if you want to taste this one,
first.
Well, wait. Just
Yeah,
which one's
leave
which?
them around. I have a feeling we can get through them pretty quick.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was kind of in a rush. I was running late, so I just didn't label it. Not a good idea. ABC.
So which one is that?
That's
Gus
Old
Flores
Yeller.
from?
That's the classic Old Yeller. One of probably the only flagship beer for Old SheepDOg. So this one came out because our neighbor Devin, he was all like, "You should have a pale ale before I open." And I was like, "Okay." And then I was seeing
I'm not gonna serve you because
I was seeing Old Yeller in Disney, and
Oh Yeller.
and for some reason the recipe came to my head, and then boom, let's go.
which is really good. Like it's one of my favorites too. But No, try serving it. It's funny.
Super heavy.
I wasn't just shaking because I normally shake, but it's a heavy boy.
It's heavy, boy.
It's like when you carry a baby that's like already took a dump, and they haven't changed the diaper.
You're like, shit, how could this kid just gain 5 pounds?
Yeah. Oh shit.
Damn.
Yeah. Which it's one of your best sellers, no? Like old. Like I think a lot of people every time I'm there, like someone takes an old yeller.
Yeah, it's the biggest seller. It's our biggest seller, and I think one of the reasons why it's the biggest seller, it's not as hoppy as your traditional pale ales. It's crisp like a lager. Ay, güey, pinche mamón.
Wishing all anyway. I know words.
And I think it's a good beer it's a good transition beer from your domestic to craft. And if you smell it, it smells like fucking.
Smells really good.
Stop sniffing. Shuck.
Damn, dude.
This is like damn.
Dude, I think it's just like,
Yeah.
like you show up with that thing to a freaking tailgate. Oh man, you know you mean business.
You're there to party.
Right.
All right, guys, I forgot to call time out. What are we drinking?
Old Yeller.
We're drinking Old Yeller. Like I was telling the guys, this is our flagship beer. This is the only beer that probably I always try to have on tap.
Okay.
It is the biggest seller beer. It sells
Quite delicious.
very, very good. It's a pale ale, but it's not as hoppy as your traditional pale ale. I think the IBU is like 21, I believe, or 22 IBUs, which apparently that's the higher the number, more bitter, right?
Yeah.
And then,
Is that what that means?
Yeah, it's international bitter units, something like that. I don't know, man. I just work there.
I just own the place.
I just own this pod. That's
And I
it.
just brew it, and it's a little crisp, more like a lager. So it's a good transitional beer from domestic to craft.
Cool.
From Kulu beer to
Yeah.
Well, don't be a culo.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's a 5.4 ABV, so we should get a little happy.
All right.
Ooh, I don't know. Did I drop something?
Yeah.
Guess it's
The
a good,
first of
it's a
many.
good thing I ate breakfast.
the first of many. That fucking smells delicious, no matter what.
I think that's the first thing that I got right off of it. The smell is really good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
it's a
it's
big
a
ass
very,
jug.
like-
I think with the big ass.
That's why I was like, can I just hold this here? I'm like, I don't want to drink it.
Well, that's just.
I like that.
I'm
Yeah,
curious.
it's one of the beers that we started with.
And yesterday too, when I got there to pick up some beers, the smell when I opened when you're brewing that new one.
Oh
it was
yeah.
Like the fritangas, I was like, oh shit.
Oh yeah. There's a new one coming up, man.
Excited for that.
When is it coming up?
It's gonna come out probably November 2nd.
How do you go through trying to come up with new flavors for a beer? Like, what is your process like?
I don't know, man. It's pretty much.
I woke
It's
up and
crazy.
fuck
I
it.
just wake up, say fuck COVID, and then I'm like, damn, I gotta come up with something new. Huh? But
go to the kitchen, open like.
or yeah, like what? Sometimes
Well-
people suggest stuff, or sometimes it just comes to my head. I was like, maybe.
Do you
we
think
should
you've
have
had more time to do it now since it's been kind of like,
Yes.
well, slow and you're
Yes,
like, well,
actually, I think a little blessing in disguise COVID is. I think that us as a business have been growing more. One, because we're trying to, it pushes us to be more creative, to make sure that we're getting some people in.
yeah.
And others that it's making me pay more attention to, not that before it wouldn't, but I was freshly new, man, and I was just wanting to have beer on tap so people could drink. And now it's kind of like, dude, this thing's not gonna finish, so let's just take our time and make good recipes.
Yeah.
And I've improved a lot. I've gotten a lot of good feedback from other people that I've improved.
Because I think like it's you making different beers brings more people in just because they're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like that Wava beer, the why you so obsessed with me? Like
Mhm.
it's a pink beer, and they're like, what the fuck? This beer that can be pink?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was pretty too.
Yeah, that one was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it
And
was.
It didn't even click to me until we were there. I was like, oh, it's Mean Girls Day.
Yeah.
I totally
October
got
3rd,
it.
right?
Even the fucking name, why you so obsessed?
Well, it's because you say why I'm so sweet. Honestly, Mariah Carey pops in my head. I just think of the song.
Oh shit! I didn't know that there was a
Yeah.
song.
I didn't know either.
She made a song about that's called that, and apparently
okay.
it's about Eminem.
Oh wow! Don't sue me, Mariah Carey. But if you want to stop by, yeah.
You can always stop.
We can work something out.
Yeah.
We'll put your name on it.
Hey, gosh, so going back to this beer, the Old Yeller, how long did it take you? First, have you decided, are you set on the recipe?
So yeah, pretty much. The recipe has pretty much been the same. I guess the little tweaking on the tweaks that I have done. It's either like the way that the grain is milled, as far as the size goes. The temperatures of the water makes a huge difference, and the amount of time that I'm leaving it in the fermenters now, and the temperatures also on the fermenters. I've been tweaking that a little bit until. This is coming out, and I think now it's a little bit more consistent than what it was when it first started.
Yeah, it's
What?
a science as much as an art, huh?
When you're doing that, what's the point where you're like, that's it, I have to stop messing with it? Because I mean,
And then I'm fuck it up.
for me personally, that's always like a fear that I have when I'm writing music.
Yeah.
I'll keep messing with it. And I'm like, shit, now it sucks. Like,
And then you don't know.
and then I'm like,
And then he goes
what
to the
did I
shower
do?
and
I don't know how to make this back or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
how does that work for you?
I think I don't think you could stop tweaking it ever, because there's something always new, and you're like, I should try this. But I guess you stop tweaking it as much. You maybe a little bit here.
You
and
limit
there.
yourself. Like,
Yeah.
I think you're never going to eliminate the factor that
It can be improved.
that comes with the fact that you're using natural
Yeah, and it's
ingredients, right? The grain, the sugar level in the grain can always be a little
it could
bit
vary.
different.
Yeah. The season, maybe when they cut the grain could be, or
Yeah.
maybe this time the yeast is not responding the way that you wanted it, or it's too old, too young. I don't know. I don't know. So they
Just
say
make
something.
beer.
I don't know. I just make beer. But the thing is with the beautiful thing about craft beer is that it's craft. The way I always say it's art. So even if you're making the same art piece, but you're always making it with your own hands, it's not automated.
Yeah.
So every little detail will be a little different. So every batch tastes a little different, but it's a little bit more, like I said, a little bit more consistent.
Yeah.
Sometimes you sweat more into it. Like
Yeah.
your sweat falls into the beer.
You're
Nobody
like,
knows.
fuck.
Sneeze.
Fuck,
damn it.
Sometimes Alex shows up when I'm cooling it down, and then he pokes in the beer, and I'm like, no, dude, you can't breathe all over it.
Bro, I feel my hands.
I just want to bathe in it. Hold on.
Let me take a shower in this beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Show up too many times.
Plus your these glasses, I mean, are good for the
Yeah,
smelling.
honestly, I don't have the whole set of different beer glasses, but I just have these tulips. I mean, I think they've got enough of the opening comes back out
Yeah.
just enough to
You gotta go like this, huh?
give you a good whiff of it.
Hey man, it's classy.
Yeah. Plus it looks beautiful.
It does.
Yeah, it does look. I feel fancy now drinking it. Now in my cup.
We actually serve our whiskey while we used to when we could serve. And a cognac snifter for the same reason. It kind of focuses the aroma
Yeah.
into your face. Some guys are picky about it and they say, give it to me in a whiskey glass. All right.
Fuck you, dude.
Yeah, don't be cool.
Don't be-
That'd be cool though.
Gotta be- Shit.
So
You see, you gotta put it there.
I consider this a pretty. It's definitely not a light a pale ale. It's at least medium in body, or maybe a touch over medium. I'm getting a lot more malt than hop, but the hop is there. It seems pretty well balanced, and it's after I swallow, it's just real nice and bready.
Yeah.
The malt, it's nice and bready. I like it. I think it's a rich pale ale. I have some ideas. Maybe a flavored cigar you haven't tried is ambrosia.
Mhm.
It's sweet, but it's flavored with clove and anise. Have you had that one?
I haven't had
Oh
that one.
wow.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that
so
sounds-
it's infused with clove and anise. So I have a feeling that if you smoke that with this beer, it's almost going to give it sort of a Hefeweizen. It's going to kind of make
Right.
it lean that way.
Okay.
But I feel like the maltiness of this beer will pair pretty good with that. in terms of natural cigars, I have no fucking idea. I'm gonna go down to the humidor with the beer and look at cigars, and it won't take me too long.
Yeah,
but
you should take the camera.
Gus, are you more interested in something natural or something?
No, I'm open. I'm open for whatever you think could be the best.
Yeah, same way. Like,
Same?
yeah. Because I've been like
the-
I've been telling you like now that after we had the episode with you, I've been trying different. Like I'll step in the corner of the humidor and just like I'm gonna pick one from here randomly, and then the next time I come another corner. So I've been doing that just to like find different, like hitting. I guess not hitting gems, but like for me, I guess just because like oh shit, like never had this before.
Yeah.
And it just sometimes I'll bring the beer and I'm just like oh if it randomly got lucky that it pairs perfectly. Like that Havana with the habanero beer.
Oh,
I was just like, damn, it actually. And that was thanks to Mia's
Which one did you smoke?
the Havana.
Okay.
Mia gave it to me, and then I opened the habanero beer, and it's just like.
and he was singing that song. I'm pretty sure.
I'm
Yeah.
sure he was.
And I was just like, damn, it actually like it paired really well. I was just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then,
That's good. Cuban and Mexican.
I'm probably
Oh, yeah,
gonna
nah. Oh, no, that's the
focus
different
on Jewish State. That cigar that I told you about is a Jewish
Yeah.
State cigar, and then I'm gonna look at that company. Right now, we're actually doing a little promotion with them. It's a raffle. It's
oh yeah, it's,
yeah, the big basket of swag. It's on the Facebook and Instagram page, and there's gonna be a drawing on November 12th. So I'm gonna see what Jewish State cigars I can find that'll
Definitely.
pair well with this beer. You guys think it's a better idea to all smoke the same thing and talk about it, or for everybody to have a different experience,
Ooh.
and we'll talk about the pros and cons of
I think different experience just to see
Okay.
like, because we all have different tastes, of course, and it's
Absolutely.
just gonna be
Well-
like, you know what? I think also with the smell of the smoke, we're gonna get a different like feel too
Mm-hmm.
around. Because I think that would be great.
Much good stuff.
I'll be back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
we
talk shit about me while I'm gone.
Oh, we're gonna talk a bunch of
So
shit.
now for now it's gone.
Too
Actually,
fucking late.
fuck that.
Too late. It's happening. Don't be a culo. Damn, I want to design a shirt that says "Don't be a culo."
don't be a culo.
I mean, it could be our first shirt.
Yeah. That one and the.
I don't know how you would draw that though.
There's many ways.
Is he being fucked or is he pooping or what is he?
It's just a picture of me going. I don't know why like this.
That should probably be the best way to do it. You like this.
Holding a beer.
Hold up.
Yeah, you could do that holding a beer and then holding a cigar.
And then in the back is the Vitolas and SheepDOg logo.
Yeah.
And in the middle our logo. Branding. I'll fucking steal this shit. We have
There you
video
go.
of this.
Oh god.
Hey,
Right.
imagine if I say like, "This is not my beer, bro. I just poured a bunch of caguamas in there." Oh.
I know
Nah.
people will do that.
Not true. Not true.
I was gonna say I don't think it'd be uncommon for someone to do that anyway. So
Also, like, how many kawamas would it take to fill this shit?
wait, this is a gallon?
It's a gallon.
And someone brought it into you, right? Like,
Yeah, somebody gave it to me.
That's the biggest gallon I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's a gallon. So it's 2 growlers. Well, I figure you guys go through 2 growlers every.
yeah, we especially me.
Yeah,
most
so I figured, that way you
And
only
that's
see
that's
one.
just when it's us two.
that one, the last time we recorded, me and him, like, we finished the growlers. And then if you see the video, like, it's me because I have other beers that I had there in my fridge. So you see me, like, step away just to open the beer. Because we didn't want to open it on camera. Like, because they're not sponsoring us. And fuck you guys.
Yeah, no, man. It's actually it's pretty interesting. I'm actually enjoying it. It's hard to enjoy me personally a beer at my brewery because I always like
You're there the whole
I'm
day.
I'm there just making it, criticizing it, or making like a more judging it more. Or
So do you ever just like not? Do you like when you want to drink beer? Do you like I don't want to drink my beer. I drink someone else's beer or
Yeah.
something else.
yeah. So I do that. I do that at home. I take some beers and then I just forget that they're there. So I won't that they're mine. And then
You don't
all of a
label
sudden,
them.
Yeah. And yeah, obviously I like tasting other people's beers because it grows. It gives you more
Yeah.
Ideas, like, what do you want to
ideas
play with?
or something that I didn't really like that. That one.
I think that's the same way we were talking to Carlos last time from Sabertooth, that because he's a chef, so he's like, well, I go and try their recipes, and I was like, I'm gonna steal it to make it my
Oh,
own.
by the way, you can serve soup.
Nice.
You can what?
He can make soup.
Oh, that's right.
He can be a restaurant.
And serve soup? Yeah.
You know how?
Soup and beer.
Just pour your beer in a bowl.
Oh, nice. Warm it up a little.
Fucking.
Why? Is that something?
It's because we have.
I didn't see that episode, man.
It's because it's not out yet. It should be out.
It'll be out. By the time this one's out, you have already heard that one if you listen. But
it's because some people consider as cereal soup.
Uh-huh.
And it's a weird thing. Like I seen it, a lot of people fight about it. It's just like, so I joke around like, well, you can make soup if you just put water on a bowl, and that's soup, dude.
yeah, we just got into a weird little conversation because I was like, what qualifies anything as soup? Water. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
So I put water in a bowl. There you go. I got soup. And there's water here. There you go. I got soup. There's whatever. I got soup.
Yeah, because I think I've had that conversation with at my previous employment.
That's like, all right, so is a hot dog a sandwich?
Ah, dude, that's.
Well, I mean, it's a handheld. Yeah. Oh wow.
That's really hard, dude.
I mean,
you've only had half of that beer. What's going on, Cesar?
What are you drinking it for?
I mean, I had some gummies before I came.
We have gummies here.
What's that all about? I meant to ask.
Yeah, he showed up. Well, when you were gone, I was setting up. He's like, "Are those THC gummies?" No, I wish.
Because I would have kicked you out if they were. I would have asked you to leave.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, no, yeah.
You can't have that.
Can't have that shit.
No, it's just spicy gummy bears because they're delicious.
Spicy gummy bears.
Yeah, like it's weird. Like it's this. Well, you know, a Loco, right? The Mexican candy store.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just walking around, and it's just like I saw them. I was like, what the fuck? Like spicy gummy bear. And it's not even a Mexican company. It's a U.S. company that makes them.
Oh wow!
And I was surprised. It's like, oh shit! And I had them, and it's just, nope, not gonna have regular gummies anymore. Like regular gummy bears. And there's this girl making them. I was just like, nah, girl, like you came too late to the game.
Yeah.
Huge perks about being in Central. The brewery is having Loco there, and having the fruit shops in the back.
Oh, that's right.
So the 1920 that I make with peels of orange peels. I got it there, right behind.
Oh, really?
me. Yeah, and then the chamoy that I put on the blonde redhead, I get it at Loco.
Interesting.
Yeah, we support.
Well, you get some of your inspiration then too, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Walk around, you see stuff.
Yeah,
Get an idea.
You get mad or something, and then.
Damn. So this is how you cut it. I always go a little bit higher.
So, when you look at a cigar, well, the head and the foot. If you can read the label, the head is always on top.
Okay. Yeah.
Or if it's oriented in the right direction, the head is on top. The foot is typically open. It's on the bottom.
Right.
And the head will have, you can see some seams at the top.
Mm-hmm.
That's the cap. And those are 1 to 3, I guess sometimes
Right, because
4
it has two.
little pieces of tobacco that are holding the wrapper leaf down. If you cut past that, you're risking the cigar unraveling on you while you're smoking it. You don't want that.
Oh, that's what it is. One time I did that, and I was like, why is this like falling apart? I was like, oh,
Yeah,
shit.
it's happened to me before. You live and you learn, man.
Yeah.
Wait, so your next goes will be on the sticker or the label, I guess?
Oh, no. Yeah, you do. If you like it, you smoke it till it's burning your fingers.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, you take that off. You keep smoking it. There's still a few people who
cut it off.
who think that you're supposed to stop when
there.
it gets to the sticker. I'm like, well,
Like, sometimes the sticker is too big.
Money, go for it, man. But
Right?
Yeah, because
I'm gonna
sometimes the
get-
sticker is like so big, and it's like half of a cigar, dude, like covering that shit.
Oh, damn it, that's it?
Yeah.
Because
But it is always a good idea to wait until you've smoked it some
and then take it out.
to peel off the Vitola, because that'll soften the glue and make it easier to take it off without pulling off a piece of the wrapper.
Because one of the things I learned
you.
from your dad, actually, like I was smoking it, and then he told me to just put the end of the match so I can keep smoking it till the end. I was like, damn, that's bad. Like, I never thought about it. I was like, that's it's pretty smart.
Yeah, several people have adopted that method. But yeah, you kind of you skewer it so you can keep smoking it without burning your fingers. Yeah, I do that a lot too.
Yeah, I saw your dad, and I asked him, like, yeah, that way I can enjoy it more, like, longer. I was like,
Yeah.
Shit, every time I come here, like, I learn more shit.
And they sell a little accessory. I think it's called a nubbing tool. And so it's that, but it's like a metal fancy version of that.
yeah.
But
So
that
like,
matchsticks, man.
Dude,
I don't
for
need
real.
one more thing I can lose, you know.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the, like I always come here and like Carlos would always say like, why don't you buy just like a fancy cutter? It's like, cause I always lose them, dude. Like every time I go somewhere, like fuck, my cutter just got lost.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that I think I lost the cutter that you brought me.
Ooh. That's
Yeah.
why I always like have the
Yeah.
simple one just because of that. Because like
Yeah.
if I buy a fancy one, it always have like I compare to when I skate, like my skate tools. Like every time I buy the fancy one, like 2 days later I lost it.
Yeah.
And then like I get the cheapest ones and they last me forever. If I lose them, I don't feel that bad. I was like, well, it was like $5, like not as bad. Like $20 to get like a nice like looking one.
Yeah.
Nice.
And guys, if you're worried about cutting too much off of a cigar, a cheat, something you can do is, but if you have a straight cut like this one or the one that Alex had,
Mhm. Yeah, I had those.
yeah, put it down on a flat surface, and then hold your cigar in the hole, and then close your cutter. So because the table or whatever won't let the cigar go
All the way.
past that,
Yeah.
and that'll prevent you from cutting off too much.
Cool. I have a lot of questions about these, man.
All right.
What's the life after you take them out of the humidifier? I guess the
Humidor?
The humidor. Like once you buy it, what's the lifespan on it?
Well, there's a lot of factors, right? Temperature, ambient humidity, things like that. If you leave it in your car, not only are you being a cooler, but you
Killing it.
dry out your cigar even faster. So definitely don't leave it in the car. There are still people that think you're supposed to keep them in your fridge.
Yeah,
But-
I was like,
yeah.
I don't get that.
Right, a refrigerator. Okay,
Because
you walk into a house with swamp cooling,
Yeah.
right? It feels a certain way. You walk into a house with refrigerated air, the biggest difference is it's dry. Well, a refrigerator does the same thing. It actually
Dries it up.
removes moisture. So
it's kind of like coffee because I hate people that put coffee in the fridge. Like I was like, dude, like you
Well-
taking away the coffee.
Yeah.
Like the flavor of it.
The reason I asked is because the some guy at Specs made me feel like a douche, like a dumbass, right? Because I was like, oh, I bought myself a flame,
A torch?
a torch,
yeah,
and he's like, oh, you're gonna smoke it? I'm like, yeah, I have one. Oh, what do you have? And I'm like, oh no, a friend gave it. You gave it
Yeah.
to me like what, like 3 weeks ago or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was like, I'm gonna smoke it. Oh, I wouldn't smoke that. That thing's already dry. And then he bust out with his badge. I'm the cigar
I'm the
cigar
cigar
specialist.
police.
Yeah, and I'm like, bro, just
Like-
let me smoke it, man.
Like, fuck you, dude. You're being a cooler because you're just showing up.
yeah. So, was he right? Yes. Was he a dick? Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't wrong, but yeah, he was kind of an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, 3 weeks is a while, and of course it depends on a lot of things, right? 3 weeks in a Ziploc bag on your nightstand, it's drier than when you bought it, but
Yeah,
it's still okay.
Oh, hold on. I said I didn't want to look like a noob, and I'm totally looking like a noob.
Yeah, but I'm
There you
associated
go.
with you now, so I want to. Okay, there you go, you got it.
Here you go.
So yeah,
you need
3
a
weeks is a
torch.
while. I think
It's like,
I tell people, if you buy a cigar here, I'm always going to put it in a Ziploc bag, unless you tell me for sure you're smoking it that day, and you want to save the plastic, then I won't put it in a bag. But if you're not going to smoke it that day, I'll put it in a bag, and then I strongly suggest smoking it, within 2 or 3 days.
All right.
It's still going to be good. A week is pushing it.
Right.
And it depends on, sometimes when it loses humidity, it doesn't always lose the humidity evenly. So when you get around to smoking it, one side of the cigar might be more humid than another part, right? And then it starts to burn funny, which is another thing you don't want. But yeah, so did you smoke the cigar?
No, because I felt like I was like,
did it?
damn, man.
Do you still have it?
I still have it. I'm gonna smoke it tonight.
Okay. Well, you can. I can
Take
see
one.
if I can rehab it. How old is it at this point? It's what?
Like 4
month.
weeks.
7
month?
It's like 4 weeks.
Yeah, and it's not in a bag, in a Ziploc bag.
Yeah,
No,
it is. It's
yes.
on your tip.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you a Ziploc bag with a little humidity pack, and that should bring it back. It's always risky trying to bring back a cigar because remember the head and the foot?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the foot is open and the head is closed, so the foot will absorb humidity faster than the head. So if you take it, let's say that it's at 40% humidity right now. If you take it straight up to 69% humidity, you risk, because the foot will absorb the humidity faster, sometimes it bursts open. Like it picks it up too fast and it blooms, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm not a big cigar person, not because I don't want to. I actually do want to. It's just I haven't had too much of experience on it. And I know my wife. I mean, I guess when you guys your first year and she found out about you guys, she was like pushing, like, you gotta go. And I'm like, I don't know, who do I go with? You?
And then I also push it too.
And now I know people. That's why I was walking in and I was like, damn, I'm part of the cool crowd now.
And that's something I think we touched on last time too, is that we don't want to have that intimidation factor. If you don't know shit about cigars, we want you to feel comfortable still walking in, because I mean, I want to answer all of the quote unquote dumb questions you might have. It doesn't matter.
Do you guys have Cubans? I'm just kidding.
Fuck you.
You guys are cute.
Actually, I don't know if you guys heard. No, we don't. We can't.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if you guys heard, but a week or so ago, it was announced that the Trump administration is going to make it even harder or downright illegal to even bring back Cuban cigars, and even from Mexico, from Canada. So that's coming up. So all of those Cubanophiles are in for a nice surprise soon. I have questions about how they're going to regulate online Cuban cigar sales, but I'm sure they'll find a way. But there's just nothing special about a Cuban cigar. There are plenty of shitty Cuban cigars, just like there are bad Nicaraguans, Dominicans, Peruvian, Mexican. You shouldn't, don't limit yourself.
Yeah.
Smoke them if you got them.
And I feel, back to what you were saying about like answering all types of questions, I feel that that's how I always wanted to be at the brewery. Like, just answer every single question, and no matter if you're very knowledgeable or non-knowledgeable, and try to always bring you into the middle, like making everybody feel welcome and just to try something new. And that's why.
Well, even then, I'm sure you get some questions where you're like, "Fucking shit, really?" Like, what's that question for you?
You guys have Bud Light?
Well, yeah, I've had that twice already.
I think that's just like,
or yeah, I do get that question about like
that one. I kind of get,
so
because
you
I mean, I
make
think people go, they don't know that it's a craft brewery.
Yeah,
so they assume it's just like a bar.
A bar.
That I'm gonna be able to get a Dos Equis or a Bud Light or whatever.
And especially in South Central, right?
Yeah. Especially there.
in the barrio too. So it's not like, no tienes carta blanca, güey.
See, yeah, I've gotten the ultra question, and
Yeah.
do you have any ultras instead of all this?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I make it. But and also get the whole, oh, you make it?
Yeah. Which it kind of makes it like,
Wait a
I was
minute,
like,
you make this here?
Yeah.
You make
And
liquid
then they're like,
happiness?
is that legal?
Yeah.
That's also the best answer last time we talked to
Oh, yeah.
Carlos. Because he was like, well, why you started making the beef jerky? He's like, because it's legal. Best answer ever had. I was like, shit, dude, like, yeah.
Yeah, and you have a challenge I don't, right? I mean, you actually have to make what you're selling. These are already made, so if somebody has a bad experience, I can blame it on the people who made it.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about trying to make like your own cigar?
Yeah. Well, in fact, I had kind of a taste of that in January when I was in Nicaragua at the Joya de Nicaragua factory, which, by the way, makes the
I'm
cigar
having the
that I'm
Joya.
smoking and the one that Alex is smoking. He's smoking the Joya Red.
Right. Yes.
And
I've had that. I think I have had that.
Which is
before.
funny because yesterday I had the Joya White.
you had
The Joya, the white label one. I don't know the name of it.
Oh, the cabineta, that's right.
Yes. And I was just like, dude, like it's just and Naga, like it actually accents that like bready taste of the beer.
Uh-huh.
I was just like, you know what? This makes me want to chill with it and just.
Well, there's some very different things.
I have
with
the
all four of
undercrown.
us. Yeah, he's got the undercrown shade that's made. That was actually Willie Herrera's first blend for Drew Estate. There's a line of cigars called Herrera Steli. They were all blended by Willie Herrera. but most people don't know that he blended that one first for Drew Estate. So Alex has the Hoya Red, like we said, from Hoya de Nicaragua. Gus is smoking the Underground Shade in a Corona size. I'm smoking also a Hoya cigar, the Antaño Gran Reserva. And Cesar's smoking the Ambrosia in the Nectar Vitola. So Cesar's is sweetened, and like we said earlier, it's got like a warm spice infusion to it, clove, anise, and I picked that one because, like I said, I figured it would kind of introduce sort of a Hefeweizen feel to the pairing. For Alex, I wanted to give him something medium-bodied with a drier, kind of a bright flavor profile. I felt like that was sort of a contrast to what the beer is doing. I thought the beer was kind of deep and rich and malty, so I was hoping for some contrast there. And for Gus, I wanted something easygoing, and in a way, it's similar to what his is doing, but none of the flavor is added. That cigar is not sweetened, but it's medium bodied. It should be creamy, nice and smooth. And there's the spiciness there, but it's backed by a creaminess at the same time that I'm hoping you'll find. And so it's kind of the effect that Cesar hopefully is getting, but without the added sweetness and the infusions. Change your life, huh?
It's crazy that you want to. Should we tell the public? I couldn't smell.
That's fine, whatever you want.
Yeah, but it the day I got the surgery, and then when they cleared me up and everything, and I was able to smell, even the worst of smells was pleasant for me.
Your fart is like, oh yeah.
Yeah, this is why you guys complain so much.
Like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was doing that.
Right. Yeah.
I think the only one I didn't touch on was this one.
Yeah.
I think I took a little bit of a risk because I'm going with something that's a little bit heavier, a little fuller, but it's the Hoya de Nicaragua Antaño Gran Reserva. And this is sort of a spin on the very popular, and I guess it would be their flagship, the Antaño. And my understanding is that the only difference really is that it uses similar tobacco, if not the same tobacco, but with a few more years of aging on it. So, it kind of rounds out the edges and gives you a little more of an elegant flavor profile, which I really like in this one.
Which now is like, I have a question for you. I always heard about aged cigars and bourbon aged cigars. What's that like? How does that work?
Bourbon aged
Cigars, yeah.
Or barrel aged cigars.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I don't think that typically the whole cigar is aged in barrel aged. Basically, I think it's usually going to be the wrapper. So at some point after, probably after fermentation, they take the leaves, the wrapper leaves, and they stick them inside of old bourbon barrels. So it's basically like infusing that bourbon barrel flavor into the wrapper leaf. All right, so you can, I would assume the goal is to infuse some oaky flavor, vanilla flavor, and maybe some kind of a sweetness to it.
The other thing I've seen is people have a friend that when he buys his cigars, he put him on he has a small humidor at home, but he'll put him on a fucking container on them, and then wet a paper towel on bourbon, and then put it on top of the cigars, and like close it and leave it there for a couple of days. Which I don't know, that's like something that people do. Like I was surprised.
I mean,
like,
it's
is that a
not
real
something
thing?
I would do. I think it's
like I thought it was weird. Honestly, like I was like I never like heard or seen that in my life.
Yeah.
Even though like I'm still
He's
new
experimenting.
into it.
Yeah, it's a bad idea because you're wetting a leaf that shouldn't be wet.
Wet, yeah.
Like and not that. Well, I mean, I know there's a lot of alcohol in whiskey, but there's still water in there. Right?
Yeah.
There's water, and sometimes when you get things wet like that, if the temperature goes up a little bit, you can get mold. Right? Eventually, the alcohol will evaporate faster than the water, and you can get a mold problem. Right? I would say if you wanted to do something like that, the best way to do it would be to find a way to to make a pool of the liquor and hold the cigars above it, but not in the liquid.
Not in the liquid.
Right? So
So
that
have
you're
like a
getting
little mesh, like
Yeah.
a top mesh,
like a
and then
little
put
rack above the pool of whiskey. So you're getting the aroma and all that good stuff into the tobacco without actually wetting the tobacco. I think that would be a safer way to do it.
Like honestly, I didn't ask him why he did that, but I was just like, this is fucking weird.
Yeah, I mean, cada chango su mecate, but
He saw it in a movie.
He said probably.
I mean, especially if you're smoking a good cigar, by the time you're smoking this tobacco was harvested at least 3 years ago, right? And it's been waiting all this time.
Yep.
To be
get
smoked.
smoke, yeah.
Yeah, we're taking all that work and turning it into ash, right? So I personally wouldn't risk messing with the integrity, the construction of the cigar by doing something like that. But like I said,
and I feel the same way like with beer. It's like, and when you said, we're turning it into ash because we literally have to burn it, right? And we just consume it in one day. And I say with beer, it's like, damn, you drink it within
couple
of minutes,
if anything.
and it took a whole month for this beer to be here, right? Which is not 3 years, but
yeah, like you had that hard work of the 3 months, like letting it sit, fermented, and it's like, shit. Is that like something that kind of like bothers you in a way? Not really bothers, but it just like makes you like, fuck, like I need to.
It's kind of sad, but that's what you do.
Kind of how life is, man.
Yeah. You've waited and
you work so hard for something so quickly, and you work, and then just like that, boom.
Yeah,
gone.
and you and I go every day, check it out, see how it's doing, and then
you talk to it, don't you?
I do.
He gets there
when he leaves the brewery at night, he leaves some music on the front. There you go, sweetie.
Smooth jazz. What kind of beers you're making? Don't worry about it. Smooth jazz to it though. Like
it's alive at that point, right?
Yeah.
Like, someone's drinking. They're like, why does this taste like Dizzy Gillespie?
Oh yeah.
I show up and then this guy's sitting like in a fancy chair next to the candle, just reading a book. Like out loud, it's like, what the fuck's going on?
1 fish, 2 fish.
Yeah.
They call me.
Fish, 2 fish.
I did notice that once I started doing like Tupac and Wu-Tang, it started getting a lot better. So, I continue like that.
I just figured like these guys are like, they call me Ishmael. I was like, oh shit, what we doing?
I don't know. You said Wu-Tang. I don't know where it is, but I saw people posting a sign. I guess somewhere here in town where someone put presidents.
Politicians
are temporary.
Yeah.
Our temporary Wu-Tang is forever.
Wu-Tang is
Yeah, they sell the signs so you can put the Wu-Tang Clan forever, for president or like stuff like that. It's like, damn, like I want to lie.
Yeah, I saw that.
On that note, I know you guys don't like talking about anything fucking serious.
Nah, I don't.
But if you haven't fucking voted, go
yeah,
vote.
for real, it's like fucking go vote.
Go vote.
Go vote.
And then there's one thing I was gonna like with the voting thing. There's church like a seminar on a Catholic church saying to not go and vote because and my coworker showed it to me, and they're saying like, oh, it's because if Biden or whoever wins, like they're gonna shut down the churches again and all the things like. Yeah, there's a fucking pandemic, motherfucker.
Hey, if I have to close down, other people need. Just kidding.
No, but I was
I'm a
just
little
like,
bitter.
but it was just like, don't go and vote because they were like, well, yeah, like he supports pro-choice, and I was just like,
I mean, do they
well,
not
that's
realize
stupid.
there's TV channels that broadcast fucking sermons and mass and all that kind of shit? Why can't you just fucking do that from home?
And she asked me like, how do you feel about that? I was like, I think that's stupid, telling people not to go and vote.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
They just have to make a change for anything. Like,
I can't imagine. I can't speak for how important, congregating in mass and church, and I can't speak on that. But I think the bottom line is, everybody's had to give something up.
yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
It's just a
I
matter
don't have to
of
tell you.
Yeah,
man.
I know.
it's just a matter of
You know?
people having to stop being so fucking selfish, man.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to do anything that isn't a convenience to them. Like, bro, everything's an inconvenience to us right now. Get the fuck over it. Seriously. You got to stay in your home for 2 weeks. I'm sorry. Suck it up.
That was like something that I always said, if we would close the whole fucking nation for 2 to 3 weeks.
Yes.
Just everything.
Yeah.
Like go stock up and that's it.
That's it.
And close it. And then in 3 weeks we could be.
That's the thing, man. Like that's how it should have been from the beginning. And it's just like, I get it. Like, obviously a lot of people are struggling and it sucks because you can't run your business and you can't do what you used to do. You're not making the money that you thought you would be making. But I hate it that everyone just seems to think it's just you. It's like, no, this is everybody. Yeah. And until everybody goes all in, this shit's going to keep going and going and going. And it's not going to get better. And it pisses me off because I'm seeing the reports and I'm like, the age group that's fucking it up the most, 20 to 39. Why? Yeah. Because they're going to the fucking bar still. They're going out there not giving a fuck. They're not watching the capacities. They're not wearing masks. They're not doing the shit that you're supposed to do. All because, I'm sick of being at home. I just want to have a good time. Like, I'm sorry, suck it up.
Like, just go buy a beer.
Fucking buy it at home. Buy it and drink it at home. Like,
so many times did I go and buy beers from you and I'm just chilling at home, like doing, like watching a movie or just drawing and whatever.
I have a hard time deciding where I'm at in that whole argument because, I mean, would I, if I had to, shut down? Well, in that scenario, I wouldn't have a choice. Granted, but I don't know what it does to some other business to have to shut down for 2 or 3 weeks. Maybe guys, you feel like you could handle it, right? If you had to shut down for a month. I don't want to make too many assumptions, but maybe you're still on the initial fund that you got for opening the business, right?
Right.
Maybe you haven't run out of that yet. So you feel like, okay, if I've got to tighten the belt and really
lock it up.
Be budget conscious for a month, I think I can handle it. But it's hard for me to speak for businesses, and I'm sure there are a lot of them that are right on that fucking edge.
Oh yeah, no, and I'm that way. I mean, I run out of funds before I open.
I mean, I just like to say, I think about it from what you were saying, guys. I just think if this would have been done from the very beginning, we would not be at the point where we are now. The problem is that you let the fire just grow little by little by little, trying to just throw a little bit of water, a little bit of sand on it every now and then, just to try to diminish it, but it doesn't completely put it out. It continuously just grows and grows and grows. It's a fucking wildfire. Yeah. And the problem is that when you don't take something from the beginning, you don't handle it from the beginning, which, I mean, I think at this point, it would have probably saved you, because I would have rather have lost the money 6 months ago and now be at the point where I'm growing again and actually getting that money back.
Exactly.
Instead of like, all right, I'm losing money then, I'm losing money then, losing money now. I grew, now I'm losing a lot more money because it's getting worse.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of business's sense, that's where people kind of lose that. They kind of lose the thought of it, where you forget it, that if you don't take care of something now, it's going to keep happening. It's going to get worse. And I think it just comes down to the fact, and I mean, it's the same with like politics and everything else. You don't learn from history. You don't take what happened in your past as a precaution for the future. I guarantee you it's going to repeat itself, which is what's happening right now. It's the same thing is happening again, because I mean, what was it, like 2,000 cases in the matter of a week? Like, that's insane. We're number 2 in the fucking country. Like, the worst cases.
Actually, we're number 2.
We are number 2 in the whole fucking country. At first, we were in 52, and then it was like, oh, shit. We jumped. And it's that, man. It's just that. It's just people, and I'm sorry to say, it's the fucking people that are my age. Like, they don't fucking just understand. They think they're too cool, and it's that mentality.
And I'm going to give you a little, like, but is it only people our age? I mean, I see older people, seniors going out and hanging out too.
No, I'm not.
They do.
I'm not saying it's just ours. I'm not saying it's just ours. But I mean, like, the vast majority of it, from what I'm seeing and from what the reports and the cases are coming back, that's where it's growing dramatically. But then it's also just that mentality of saying, oh, I'm young, and if I get it, I'll be okay.
Yeah, and that's like, stupid because
if I'm not mistaken, I think Mayor DiMaggio had made that claim himself, and I think KTSM fact-checked it this morning. So there is an article, I think, from KTSM where they fact-checked the claim that it was the millennial age group that was contributing the most to it. And I think the gist of it was that that's not the case. But no matter what generation or what age group it is, I mean, I don't have a lot of sympathy for people who kind of want to have it both ways, including businesses, right? Businesses that decided they weren't going to cooperate and they weren't going to abide, and then they start bitching and moaning when when the
Well, it's like,
you get locked down.
like you hear, like I know, like you were trying to find a food truck and everything so you could try and operate. There's, from what I've heard from people telling me that they've talked to some bars, I don't remember which one, but there was one that I guess literally told them like, oh, the food truck outside, it's just there for looks, just so we can be open. We don't really operate it.
But then again, I mean, it's because it goes always, because right now with the new regulation is that you made bars convert into the
restaurants
window of restaurants, and now you're closing them at 9.
Which is so it's just like
so
you're gonna go out, but
you're gonna close them. But
it costs money, by the way, to get that food and beverage.
Yeah, it's almost like $1,000, dude.
Yeah.
Because I've already looked into it, and it's almost like $1,000, and it's
Like,
but I think that was the purpose, because that was the loophole essentially in a way to keep open till 1-2 a.m. and still having that whole congregation be there. So that's why, like when they said it, I was like, that's. Honestly, I know why they did that.
Even at first, we were like, "Oh, you had to order food to get a drink," but then it was just like,
then I
fucking get a drink.
But then
we have a
the
fucking
problem.
restroom.
Is that when you have businesses like a certain bar on Piedras that got shut down pretty early on into this for not wanting to play by the rules. That's why they end up passing orders like this one. Okay, you guys don't want to play by the rules and shut down at 9.
Yeah.
It only takes one asshole to ruin it for everybody, right?
Because even like people saying like our age, main Cesars. I have my friend just passed away this week from COVID.
Oh shit.
And he's 27.
Wow.
And he's diabetic, but the thing, he got it from his parents, and his parents are those like, they're super religious. He went and checked on them just because he hasn't been seeing them in 6 months. And there are those people that were like, well, if I pray enough and like I believe in God, that shit's not real. And they just saw their kid die because him being diabetic and just getting the virus, because they carried it, they don't get affected. Yeah. It's like, this kid's 27 and he passed away in 2 days from getting it. Like, he went to the hospital and they even he went just honestly to sit down and die. Right. I was just like, that sucks. Like, seeing someone my age and someone that I know close to me, I was just like, dude, like, that's fucking. Damn. And even his sister was like, maybe my parents now understand that this is a real thing. Like, it sucks that I had to lose my brother for my parents to be like, oh, if I pray enough or if I do all this thing, this is not a real thing. Like, it's like, no, like, you can carry the virus and not be affected with it, but you don't know who, like, you go see a family member or a friend just to check on them, and it's like, oh, fuck, like, I gave them the sickness and this.
Yeah, I don't want that guilt. I mean, that's why I'm careful. Like, I don't know for sure, but I would assume that if I tested positive, I would recover. I'm not in great shape, but I try to take care of myself.
Yeah, but what you think the precautions do?
But that's not the issue. It's just, who could I potentially give it to? Do I want to shut down my business for a month because of my pendejada? No, I don't want to do that either. So it's when people forget to think about everybody else that we end up in situations
you're not in
like
this alone. Like, we're all dealing with this shit. Like, everybody's dealing with this shit. Businesses, people, like anybody. Like, it's just not like,
it's just a matter that we can operate. Like, there could be a way for the bars and the cigar lounge, everything to operate, but I mean, you're gonna have to give up a little bit to get a little.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
don't be a culo.
Don't be a culo. Anyways, go vote.
Go vote.
So we went from to like
really political.
Very fucking political.
Hey man,
it's okay. It's the end of the season.
And that
it happens. It happens.
But it happens. It's just like, fucking people need to understand that shit's going on. We all have to deal with it. If you don't think that's a real thing, then fuck you, because, dude, like, everywhere has to deal with it.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's suffering. Like, oh, like, I want to watch sports. It's like, yeah, dude, like, but they also have to, like, have regulations for that shit. We saw the NBA build the fucking...
They did... You realize in the entire, what was it? I think 60 days, 90 days that they were operating from the bubble in Orlando, they didn't have a single positive case come up. With all their testing, everything that they were doing, all the players, everything, there wasn't
that was the thing,
staff.
Because family wasn't visiting
They
either.
did it the right way.
Yeah.
Like, they understood, we have to do this, we have to do that. And they executed. Like, that's crazy to me, that they didn't have a single case.
But I think the one thing that holds true, no matter what you believe or don't believe about this thing, it's fine. If you think COVID doesn't really exist, if you think you can pray it away, I'm fine with all of that. But just don't shove that down anybody else's throat, and be considerate of everyone else. I mean,
Straight up.
I don't I don't know what a good example would be, but I don't know, if you're morally opposed to watching porn, you don't watch porn.
Yeah.
And
I think for that, like, I would just like the reason, like, I know we used to say we don't like talking politics or religion because everybody has very, very different views on it. You don't understand what someone else thinking. The other thing is it's hard to communicate that with other people because the second you kind of like, I feel like the second you start infringing on what they believe, a lot of people just get very defensive and just want to fight.
Yeah.
But what you're saying, the religion thing, I think is always something that how you're saying people try to shove that down other people's throats.
Yeah.
And like, there's people out there like, they'll strictly believe that their religion is the right religion, that your stuff is wrong, blah, 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 this and that. And like, I'm always one that's like, you can believe, like what you're saying, you can believe what you want to believe. That's fine. Just don't shove it in my face and don't try and like make me feel like I'm an idiot or like,
Or I'm doing wrong.
Stupid, I'm doing wrong. Like, you believe what you want to believe, by all means, go for it. I don't care. I'm going to believe. And as long as you can be civil with one another, that's the only thing that should matter.
And then it's not even just religion, right? And I know that's not what you're saying, but before COVID came along, it was generally expected of you to cover your mouth when you sneeze.
Yeah.
Right.
It's generally expected of you to drive out or around the speed limit for the general good, right? I mean, there's a lot of things we do, a lot of laws that are in place that are meant to keep everybody safe, and I think this is the same thing.
Can you imagine though, the day that this finally passes, how weird it's gonna feel to not wear a mask?
I know, yeah.
Yes, to actually,
That's gonna go away for
without
a
a
long
mask.
time.
dude,
I
just
don't
to
need
actually like hug someone, it's gonna be like.
Because I was thinking
shit.
about that the other day when I had gone to vote and everyone's in there wearing their masks and everything. I was walking, I was like, man, this is gonna be weird the day that this is like over, like completely over, and they say, oh, you don't have to wear a mask anymore. There's probably like what you're saying. It's probably like, nah, dude, I'm still wearing a mask. Fuck that. I'm not going without it.
Wearing a mask for the whole next year, dude.
I might for a little bit. I don't know.
You never know.
I don't know. I guess we'll see when we get there. But we all just gotta just take care of each other, be patient with one another, accept that everyone is gonna have different fucking ideas about everything. And I mean, I have all kinds of friends. I have super religious friends. I have super conservative friends, very liberal friends. And I mean, I think that's part of the beauty of my circle of people that I like to talk to and hang out with. Here at Vitolas is
Everybody.
we get along. We listen to one another, and that's what we need to do. We need to listen, and yes, nobody should take offense if, well, I don't like, it worries me that you don't believe in COVID, so I'm going to step away.
Yeah.
Okay, step away. Ultimately, you got to take care of yourself. And
everybody
you should
else
only
around.
get angry and maybe defensive if somebody refuses to stay.
Away from your respect your
Yeah,
situation.
to not respect your boundaries. You set your own boundaries and take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And
I'm
with-
gonna say
Well,
I got a business to run.
yeah. So with
Yeah,
that,
without saying.
with that, we're gonna go ahead and here because these guys kind of get their businesses up and running, like we said. But real quick, thank you again, Gus and Fernando, for joining us today. They've been really big supporters of ours, so we really appreciate all the help that they've given us so far.
With that being said, like always, I'd like to say thank you guys for being our sponsors. Old SheepDOg, located in 3900 Rosa Avenue, El Paso, Texas 79905, right there under the Spaghetti Bowl, Lincoln Park. Get your beer, get some, like I said, beautiful beer. You always make amazing stuff. And another sponsor, of course, Fernando from Vitolas, 216 West Franklin, El Paso, Texas 79901. And like I always said, find your taste on a cigar. 360 cigars.
Sure.
There's nothing that you can say is like, I can't find anything here. Yeah, you probably can, but you're being a little culo for not doing it. And
yeah, thank you these guys again for supporting us. Also, thank you everybody for listening and watching. As always, you can check us out at 6feetunderstudios.com, where you can find links to all of our streaming platforms, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, as well as our Instagram on there. If you ever want to reach out to us and join us for an episode, please reach out. We're always welcoming anybody that wants to come up here and talk about anything. And as always, guys, thank you very much, and we'll see you guys next time.
Stay hard out there.
Thank you.
Stay hard.
Thank you.